Hello, users, and welcome to another episodic installation of Above It All. So I've decided to take a little bit of a day off, but I want to post at least one video a day because that's what I like doing. So I saw this image circulating, and I just want to comment on this. This is something that is, in my opinion, very indicative of everything I've been talking about on my channel for the past year or so. The fact that the rich keep getting richer while the poor keep getting poorer is something that, if it doesn't alarm you, it really should. Now, a lot of the right-wing argumentation involved is, oh, have you ever gotten a job from a poor person? And they don't understand. When they think of job, they think of a corporate gig. In reality, poor people help each other all the time by doing different things. Have you ever fixed a car for your friend? Have you ever mowed someone's lawn? Have you ever sold Girl Scout cookies? That's all getting jobs from poor people, okay? So, another thing is people think the rich people themselves, like Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, they think that they create wealth, when in reality, they are just on the top of a Ponzi scheme. There is something you need to understand. Elon Musk is not creating wealth because the United States government has a puppet fascist dictator installed in Bolivia that allows for easier access to lithium, which lowers the prices that Elon Musk and his company have to pay out of pocket because he gets government subsidies. That doesn't mean Elon Musk is creating wealth. It means he is the prime benefactor of a Ponzi scheme. Okay? And he's not even really the prime benefactor, because in reality the US government is, because all it does is siphon resources from the global south, Latin America, Africa, and so onward, to the global north, which is Europe. You know, even China in a lot of instances, at least Chinese officials, and the United States of America. There is a reason why people exploit labor that are in third world countries, as I like to say. That is because those countries have been beaten down and destroyed by the first world countries in order to provide safe spaces for labor sweatshops, okay? This is why you get a lot of problems. And this is why Marxism is an analysis that is fundamentally required in order to be a serious thinker, especially in the 21st century. Maybe if it were 1950, right, I could understand being a little bit delusional about how this stuff works, right? But this is the 21st century, okay? We are going to approach a universe, right? An economy that after this coronavirus pandemic ends, if it ever ends, say 5 years from now, when we're completely back to normal, if we're completely back to normal, we are going to be in a new world. 40% of jobs that have been lost throughout this pandemic are not coming back. They will be replaced by automation and automated positions. For example, I've covered stories of Walmart's getting rid of all their checkout lines and just having self-checkouts, okay? That gives them an incentive to cut the payroll. That gives them an incentive to cut the jobs, because guess what? They don't need you, okay? When the wealthy get all of the money and it all just goes to the top, right? And then they control everything, they got you by the balls. And this is why one thing I advocate for is growing your own food. If that is something that you are capable of doing, if you live in a location that is suitable to that, grow your own food. Eat less. Eat better foods, alright? One of the things that has made me become a vegetarian is the fact that meat is not healthy, especially meat made and manufactured in the United States of America. They pump that shit full of hormones, they make you sick, they make you deadly. There's a reason why antibiotics do not work in a lot of instances on a lot of people. It's because we are fed chemicals that kill our bodies, okay? Imagine if corporations were able to buy and sell oxygen, okay? Now, would they give you oxygen, or would they give you oxygen with 25% carbon monoxide for taste? That is the meat industry. That is the nutrition industry and processed food as a whole. Okay, one thing that we need to do in order to become more conscious citizens is we need to work on ourselves and work on our friends and work on our family and work on our community. We need to say, you know what? Fuck the middleman. What does Jeff Bezos do? He didn't design the website. He had people who he paid to design the website. He didn't do this. He didn't come up with this idea. Oh, wow. You're telling me selling books online? profound, genius, wow, what an innovator. No, it's not being an innovator. It's using the internet, which was originally designed to be a socialist kind of evening out of information across the globe. What was originally designed to help all people until the 1996 Telecommunications Act decided, we're just going to say fuck that, start monopolizing all of our systems, and then just not give internet access to about 40% of the people in the world. Okay, that's what the idea. Okay, look, like in the world, this is a global thing. Obviously, the 96 Telecommunications Act does not have global, reach, but it is kind of a thing when you have American monopolies that start gaining all this power. Have you ever been to a rural town? I used to live in a city. I used to have fiber optic gigabit internet. Now, my internet turns off every 15 seconds. Why? Because I live in a fucking rural bumfuck town? Okay, have you ever been to a city, right, and then gone to a rural town? If not, chances are you don't know what I'm talking about. But there are so many resources right now that are monopolized by big corporations. Have you ever gone to a grocery store? Most of that shit, all the aisles, all the inner aisles, 99% of that shit is all from like 5 different companies. They just have different brands. Like the Koch brothers, for example, own I think hundreds of different brands that they just sell to you. It's like, I'm going to avoid this paper towel and grab that one. Newsflash, they're both owned by the same corporation. Okay, this is something you need to understand, is we need to start developing these ways to help each other. And that starts from the ground. That starts within yourself, because for me personally, I've become a lot more of a spiritual person over the last 6 to 8 months or so, especially since this pandemic began. When Bernie Sanders dropped out and the coronavirus pandemic started to rip through my neighborhoods, where I grew up. I grew up in New Jersey, right? So in April, when that shit started happening, when all hope was lost as far as any chance of anything happening at that point, I decided, you know what? There is going to be no change in this world that is handed to me. I have to go out there and I have to make a difference myself. That's where I decided, you know what? I'm going to stop eating ice cream every day. I'm going to stop eating fast food and junk food frequently. I became a vegetarian in March, but I still ate pasta every single day. I was still being unhealthy. I decided, you know what? I'm going to work on myself. I'm going to start working out. I'm going to start losing weight. I'm going to start eating healthier. And you know what? I've lost 40 pounds since April, okay? I am much more physically fit. I am much healthier than I ever have been in my life. I am much more mentally healthy. I have been depressed, I would say probably since I was 10 years old, all the way up until sometime early this year, okay? And there's a lot of factors that go into that, but one of the biggest factors was I decided that if I am going to go out there and do these YouTube videos and say all this stuff, I have to be a role model of some sorts. I can't just be some stupid fuck sitting on my bed just saying, you should do this and you should do that if I don't do it myself. I need to lead by example. And this is what I mean. If you're watching my channel, right, and you feel like the world is collapsing in on you, you need to know that it is not collapsing in on you. You need to know that you can be the source of change. Me doing all of the things I have, it's helped people. I get emails all the time. I get comments all the time of people saying they've done things that I've talked about. They've tried eating a certain way. They've tried cutting meat out of their diet. They've tried, reading the ingredients list on food that they buy. They try cooking with whole foods. They try maybe doing dream therapy, which is another big thing. They've tried meditation because of my channel and because of listening to my words. That is what I'm talking about. We need to have a ripple effect. We need to tell people that yes, there is hope in this world, and we need to prevent the dystopia that's going to happen. Again, in 5-ish years from now, when automation has completely ripped through all of our communities, and the only thing we can do is be garbage collectors, and there's going to be a massive lack of jobs. There's going to be a massive destabilization of the poor and lower class. You're already seeing this. We're already seeing Trump's bread riots going on. Food banks, lines stretching miles and miles and miles. You're seeing people starving. There's statistics out there that say there's about 30 or 40 million undernourished children, people under the age of 18, in the United States of America. Okay? That is ridiculous. This is the richest country in the history of the world. This is the most developed empire in the history of the world. Have you ever been in the military? Have you ever known someone who's been in the military? Have you ever been on a military base? They've got that shit figured out. You get free food. You get cash stipends. You get anything you'd ever want. You get all the exercise equipment you'd ever want. You get all the things you'd ever want. You can do whatever you want without worrying about anything whatsoever. You just have to sign away your soul and say, you know what? I'll go kill brown people in the Middle East for you, and then your life is set. You're good. You get health care. You get food. You get whatever you could imagine. You get housing. You get this. You get that. Okay? But then, when you leave the military, you're poor. You're destitute. You have to, work $7.25 an hour without health care? What the hell is this? It's because unless you're serving your country's war machine, you are useless to that country. They will give you just enough to subsist, and they will make you depressed, and they will make you keep consuming. Look at fast food, for example. People are working 2, sometimes 3 jobs. They don't have time to cook at home, so what do? They buy fast food. That makes them unhealthy. That makes them give money that they are hard earning, that they're working very difficultly to acquire, giving it back to the big corporations to just buy chemically processed food that's not even healthy for them. It's killing them. But it gives them the sense of energy that they think they need, because guess what? We're not taught anything about nutrition in school. We're not taught anything about self-sufficiency in school. We're not taught anything about anything in school. We have to find this all out on ourselves. And this is something that I've tried to spend the last few months working toward. Is I want to be a role model. I want to be someone that tells you, yes, you can, no matter what you're doing. Everyone has their own, issues in life. Everyone's got their own set of problems. But, I'm not trying to say quitting meat's going to help you, but at least if you're going to eat meat, try to eat the best quality meat. I know it's more expensive, but here's my counterpoint. This is one thing that convinced me to try more expensive foods. It's because I had a problem with eating disorders. I have problems with portion control. This is why some of my favorite fast foods were like giant, I used to eat Five Guys every single time I went. When I lived in DC, I would get Five Guys. I would get like 2 orders of the large fucking French fries, and I would just sit there eating French fries for like 30 minutes because I loved volume. Okay, but this is one thing that you have to understand is like this shit is killing us. Okay, like if you just spend slightly more money on something that's healthier and then eat less of it, you are going to feel better, you are going to eat healthier, and you're going to spend about the same amount of money. Now, this is just if you have eating disorders similar to mine, if you have portion control issues similar to mine. If you're spending a lot of money on food, ask yourself, are you spending money on satisfying an addiction, or are you spending money on fueling your body with energy? If you want to spend money to fuel your body with energy, it is more cost effective to spend the little extra money on foods and eat that are healthier for you and eat a little bit less of it, because you don't need as much because it's healthier. Okay, this is one thing that I've been talking about a lot, and I want to make more videos about this subject. So if you want, if you're interested, if this is kind of like, getting gears turning in your brain or anything, let me know. I want people to reach out to me. I want to help people. I am not the best person in the world. I am only one person. So there is, I'm at a point where I'm getting a lot of attention online. A lot of it's negative. I get people sending me death threats every single day of my life. But guess what? I don't care anymore, because what are they going to do, okay? Like, I've had neo-Nazis attack me and end up killing my mother with a SWAT team, okay? Anyone saying, oh, I'm going to kill you, okay? Come do it. Come do it. I don't give a shit, okay? I have the way of just dealing with this information, with all this stress. I have just decided, you know what? I'm not going to be a victim anymore. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to speak my mind, and I'm going to speak my mind proudly. I'm not going to let people silence me. I'm not going to let people censor me. I'm not going to let people cancel me, because I don't care, because my message is trying to help people. And I know that this really has little to do with this image here, but this is just something you need to understand. The way we combat this, the way we combat capitalist dystopia, monopolization, is by helping each other. When you go outside, when you go into your community, you see a bunch of strangers. And it shouldn't be that way. Your next door neighbors shouldn't be strangers. Your next door neighbors shouldn't be people you're afraid of. They shouldn't be people that only annoy you. Oh, they're playing music again. Darn, I hate them. You should actually try to engage with them. And this pandemic is making things difficult. There's a reason Trump and the capitalist class are trying their best to make this pandemic as long as possible, because they want us to be hopeless. They want to kill us as much as they can, but what they don't kill in actual death and suffering, they kill in hopes and dreams. I get so many messages of people saying, oh, as soon as Bernie dropped out, I gave up. I checked out. You know what? I can't take this anymore. I'm just going to drink alcohol, smoke weed, and just let the life, just go by. And I say, fuck that. I say, you know what? It's okay to have vices. It's okay to do things that aren't necessarily the healthiest. But you have to understand what you are doing to yourself is also you are doing to your community. All it takes is one person in a family to have these ideas, to want to be a better person, for that energy to spread. Positive energy is just as much of a disease and a virus as negative energy. Then we have to start using positive energy to outweigh the negative energy, because negative energy has destroyed us. It has told us we are alone. We have the internet, right? Again, what was originally designed to be a socialist means of communication, right? We have the internet at our disposal, okay? There is no reason for us to be alone. There is no reason for us to be sad. There is no reason for us to be depressed. We can communicate, we can organize, and we can tell each other we're there for you, and that's what we need to do. We need to tell the capitalist class that we're not falling for their bullshit. And it won't happen tomorrow. It won't happen in November. It won't happen next November, or the November after that, or after that, or after that. This is a multiple year-long process. We need to help each other in the best way that we can, and that change starts with yourself. So if I can help you, maybe you've been thinking about getting on a diet, you've been thinking about exercising, you've been thinking about maybe trying to quit alcohol, or maybe you've been thinking about trying to eat healthier, right? Something like that. Now's the time to do it, because guess what? We are in a critical time where this is going to be something this year, 2020, right? We are going to be talking about the year 2020 for the rest of our lives, okay? This is a serious historical moment. And if, the bombs go off, and if we all die in radioactive hellfire, you know what? At least we died trying. At least we said, you know what? We went out with a bang. Maybe literally in that case. We can't let them win. And the best way possible to stop letting them win is to source your food organically, to source your food from your community, to source your food from yourself. That is one of the biggest things possible that you can do to save money and to help prevent the spread of the disease of these billionaire creatures. Stop using things like Amazon whenever you can. I get it. Sometimes Amazon is the only place that has certain things, and you need those certain things, or you want those certain things to help with other projects. If you're going to use Amazon, use it in the most ethical way possible. Say if there's not healthy foods that you want to try in your local grocery stores, and Amazon has relatively decent prices that you can source from, do that. Get yourself on your feet, get yourself feeling better, and then stop using them. You got to use these vehicles in the best way to see that you possibly can. Everyone's situation is different. Everyone lives in a different area. Everyone has different problems, and you need to deal with those problems in a personal way. So this is just a little roundabout video. Again, I'm only going to do one video today, and I wanted it to be a good one. So again, hopefully this message got across. What my main message here, if I can summarize it, it's change starts from the bottom. It never comes from the top. This is the same shit that Bernie's whole campaign was about. I know there's a lot of Bernie people that follow me. Change comes from the bottom. And what is the absolute bottom? Yourself. What is the absolute? Like, you don't need anything else other than willpower. We are all broken. We are all destroyed. We are all pressured. We are all hopeless until we decide, you know what? Enough's enough. And all it takes is one person to make a good change for themselves, and then a few years later, they become positive energy that can change others. And that, I think, is important. Maybe you in 5 years from now can be a union leader. Maybe you in 5 years from now can have your own podcast that gets their own people and has their own network. Maybe you can do something like I'm doing, like people that I followed helped me get my ideas figured out, because it's all about helping others help themselves. That is the ultimate goal, because we are not alone, no matter how much the system wants us to think we are, and we need to start realizing that. So again, thank you for watching. I love everyone that watches, even the crazy Trump sycophants that send me death threats every day. I appreciate you. I enjoy that you're giving me the ad revenue to help me spend money on healthier foods, to help me pay my rent and my bills. I'm at a point now where I'm able to make $100 a month on YouTube. If you don't know, Google has an AdSense threshold payout for $100. If you make less than $100, you have to wait till the next month to get your money. I have gotten the $100 threshold every month since, I think, June. That's awesome. That gives me more stable access to stuff that, I would otherwise have anxiety over. My Patreon page has over $100 on it as well every month. That really helps me out. If you've got an extra buck, anything lying around, and you enjoyed my content or this video or whatever, send me $1. All it takes is $1. I've got, I get hundreds of viewers. So if hundreds of viewers send me $1 each, I'd have hundreds of dollars, and then I can maybe upgrade my production value. Maybe I could reach more people. Maybe I could do anything. If you think that I am worth investing in, hit me up. I try my best. But either that or invest in yourself. Just don't let the big corporations win, because yeah, they're winning right now, but that doesn't mean that this is how the story has to end. So I tried to end this video like 5 times, so I'm going to say thank you and goodbye.